everybody. Thank you so much for listening. We are the Real Pineapple. This is Hunter here, and I'm here with Scott. Scott, how you doing, sir?
Ooh, I'm fantastic. Thanks, Hunter.
And I'm here with Colin. Colin, how you doing, my friend?
I'm good. It's good to be with you boys tonight.
Pleasure as always, sir. And we're here to talk about maybe one of the best movies of the year in Baby Driver. Definitely one of the best movies of the summer, but we'll jump into that. So, I think we've mentioned him quite a bit on here. We all, I think, are big fans of Edgar Wright. I actually just watched Hot Fuzz last night and just thought, God damn, I do love
Yeah.
this movie.
Hmm.
And I
Do
watched
you,
Shaun of the Dead. Oh no, go ahead.
do you remember when we had a big argument over which is better, Shaun of the Dead or Hot Fuzz? And
Oh,
I
absolutely.
and I was adamant that Shaun of the Dead was better, and you were adamant that Hot Fuzz was better. But
Yeah.
honestly, like I think about that argument now, and I'm just like, you're arguing like what's like A plus and what's like A plus like minor. You know what I mean? Like it's like
True. True.
both of them are great movies. It's just like what's your preference? So
Right.
I just look back on that argument now and I just think it's funny because Edgar Wright is a genius and almost
Yeah.
everything he's done has been great. I know that you're not as big of a fan of World's End, but
Yeah.
but like Hunter and we went and saw Scott Pilgrim versus the World in
Fucking love that
Austin.
movie.
Dude, we remember, dude, the Draft House is that's the only
Alamo.
movie.
Dra- Shout out to Alamo Draft House in Austin, Texas. Love
Yeah,
that place.
that's
Sorry,
the
go ahead.
that's the only movie we ever saw in the Alamo Draft House. Well, that I saw, and
Yeah.
it was a great welcoming to that that movie theater. Um, Edgar Wright was amazing in that. Scott, you saw Scott Pilgrim, right?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I would have. I don't think I saw it in theater though. I think I just saw it on when it came out to DVD.
Yeah, but Hunter, like, I'll let you continue what you were saying, but like, I just I can't be quiet about Edgar Wright. I think he's so amazing, and that was one of the best movie going experiences of my life. I think is when we saw Scott Pilgrim at the Alamo Draft House. Is what I was trying to get to.
No, I could not agree more. I think Scott Pilgrim honestly is his best film. Um, I actually just watched it about a month ago and thought, my God, this it might be my favorite comic book movie of all time. But that's another podcast. I love Scott Pilgrim so much, and in anyone else's hands, it would have just fallen apart completely because there's so many in jokes and I mean, it's basically a hipster superhero movie when you break it down, and yet it works so goddamn well. And that was, pre Anna Kendrick being in fucking everything, and it made a lot of people stand out in that movie.
And Brie Larson.
Yeah, fucking Captain Marvel now.
Yeah.
Oscar-winning Brie Larson. So it's
Hmm.
crazy how there's so many really great pieces. Captain America, Chris Evans is in that fucking movie. I mean,
Yeah.
there's so many great people. Aubrey Plaza, who's
Aubrey
been on
Plaza. Yeah.
who's on Legion now. I mean, it's crazy how many people are in that movie that have really become bigger since that film. And I all I was sitting there thinking this whole time is I really hope Scott and Colin love this movie as much as I do, because I'm gonna jump in. I fucking love this movie. I thought this movie was it. It might be my favorite Edgar Wright film, and I've
Yeah.
seen it.
I think it
I've
might be
seen it
mine
twice.
too. I think it might be
I
mine too.
I just
You know I would like it. You say that thinking that I wouldn't like it, but you know I love Edgar Wright. You know I'd probably liked it, right?
I had a feeling you liked it. I just didn't know if you would love it as much as
Yeah.
I did, because ever since then, I've been listening to Every Little Bit Hurts, the second song they play after, like, when the credits are rolling, and I love that song so much. I've just been like dancing in the work and shit. I I fucking love the soundtrack for this. But let's just kind of jump in here. So Ansel Elgort plays Baby. I was trying to place this dude the whole movie. I could not think of what I saw him in. He was in The Fault in Our Stars, and I thought, man, that guy's charismatic. I hope he gets to do something else. And he's playing Baby here, and Baby, it's it's almost like John Wick. I don't know if you guys thought of this, but I'm sitting there watching it. I'm thinking, Baby has lines of dialogue, but they almost kept them silent and kind of let the music almost fill in his character, if that makes sense. Like, did anyone else kind of have that feeling, or?
The
Yeah,
only thing I go ahead, Scott. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I totally agree. I feel like the point of it was to be in his head, and the music was basically you are him, you're living his experience, you're listening to whatever he's listening to, which kind of guided the movie through, each scene and each song. And yeah, I've been listening ever since I got out of that movie. I've been listening to the Spotify playlist they have for that
Yep.
soundtrack, and
Yeah, absolutely. Me
it's
too.
been great.
Yeah, but so Baby's kind of the silent type.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, go ahead.
But just what you were saying, that like all the one-liners and things that remind you of John Wick, which I totally think is like fair. But I honestly I want to commend Edgar Wright again. Like, I'm such an Edgar Wright fanboy now. Like, I really am. He has this stylish like way of like having dialogue go back and forth where almost everything's a one-liner. I mean, but it's like well written, but you can have something be well written and it's not delivered quite as stylish or as cool as Edgar Wright ends up getting it delivered by all of his actors, because you can just tell this is all Edgar Wright because he does the same thing in all of his movies. He has this like amazing way that people talk to each other, like in Scott Pilgrim versus the World, like just the way people are talking to Scott, like like at one point he's talking about his high school girlfriend Knives Chow, and then the drummer's just like, Scott, you're the salt of the earth, and he's like, oh, thank you. He's like, sorry, I mean, you're the scum of the earth. Like, but it's like, and like I'm doing it disjustice because everything that's delivered in these movies is kind of like that. It's just like this witty banter, but it comes off in this amazing way. And I think it's all a testament to him. He's probably my favorite director right now going. Like, I know I'm giving too much away of my final review, but like, I love this dude right now.
Yeah, he really hasn't made a bad movie. It's kind of incredible. Scott, you've been rather quiet, which I will be honest with you, kind of scares me a little bit. So what did you kind of like? What were kind of your initial thoughts when you got out of this?
Yeah, I mean, it's so clear that Edgar Wright had his hands all over this thing. Just like Colin was saying, the style, even like you can tell. Even it kind of reminds you of Wes Anderson, and where every scene is like super purposeful, and there's no like wasted film. It seems like, and you want more. Obviously, I feel like at the end I was like, oh no, it's over. Like, not to say that would hurt my grade on it, but just a testament to his style. And like the I mean, the music starts from the beginning and it just like takes you through the entire movie, and in a way that it had to take an enormous amount of man hours just to like feel like put this thing together, and like the editing required for this thing
totally
to just like pick the right songs, and feel like every song worked well, and they weren't all just like these badass driving songs or whatever, but it really ranged as far as artists and genres and stuff like that. But yeah, super fun movie, and you're kind of in it from the opening scene.
Yeah, so I just want to get through the plot here real quick. So Baby's paying Doc back, who's this like kind of lower city kingpin played by Kevin Spacey, and then he falls in love with this cute waitress named Deborah, played by Lily James, and then basically they go ahead and it's about him trying to kind of get out of this world and everything, and figuring out how he's gonna do that and keep everyone safe. So.
Who happens to be like an incredible driver.
Yeah, so I mean, Colin, like, I mean, what really impressed you about this movie? Like, what jumped out to you?
The thing that jumped out to me, that's a great question. The thing that jumped out to me the most, like right away, is the music. So right when it starts with a heist that's being performed. with Baby as the getaway driver. It has John Hamm and a couple of other people that are doing this heist, and the whole thing all of a sudden just becomes Baby listening to his iPod, and it's this song called Bell Bottoms that I've never heard of, but apparently is this phenomenal song. I mean, every song introduced in this movie I felt like was very original. It wasn't like a cliche type of overplayed song. It was like very specific. All of a sudden, like this song all of a sudden has this identity to Baby Driver. I don't know if you guys felt that, but but right away this opening scene is spectacular. It hits you right in the face with this amazing car scene. You know, it has. I think one of the dudes is from Walking Dead, right? He was like from
Shane from Walking Dead. Yeah.
Shane,
John, the Punisher, John Bernthal.
Yeah, Punisher. There you go. More recently, Punisher. But yeah, I remember him from Shane from Walking Dead. But like one of the iconic scenes that's in the trailer is that all of a sudden Shane just like points forward and Baby just reverses, and I mean like it's on after that. I mean like all of a sudden like it almost like prepares you. Just that one little scene of him pointing forward, let's go, and he goes backwards is like expect the unexpected during this movie. I mean it's a total like whirlwind of car chases and spectacular music. And then like actually a pretty good like love story, like a pretty good like romantic element to this whole thing, which is of course is done in the Edgar Wright stylized dialogue that he does. I mean, I was blown away. I was blown away. And this has no source material. Like at least like Scott Pilgrim, that's very stylized and it's like this amazing story. But it's the source material has like 8 comics that have been written. That he was working off of something. This is like utterly original. I mean, this is incredible. It was written and directed by Edgar Wright. This dude's awesome.
You could tell his hands were all over it, from like the script to the music to the cinematography to like it was like a complete work.
So this movie it does borrow heavily, I think, from The Driver. Which was this old. It's an old school movie. If you're 20, you won't know about this movie. It's this movie directed by Walter Hill, who actually was a producer on The Warrior and Aliens. But it's kind of based on that. I feel like there's a little bit of drive here too with Ryan Gosling.
Yeah. Is Edgar Wright on the record saying that though?
He is actually. That The Driver was a big influence on this movie.
Okay, so, gotcha. That's cool though.
So I mean, it's an old school movie. I think it's an English movie. I remember I saw clips of it. I don't think I saw it all the way through. But
so what did he say about like how this one was different? Because this one's called Baby Driver, obviously. So is it basically like this is like the baby version of that one? Like he's like the new iteration of that driver?
Yeah, basically what he was saying is that he wanted to take this movie and combine it with another great kind of car movie, Smoking the Bandit.
Okay.
He kind of wanted to like. No, not Smoking the Bandit. Why am I blanking on the movie of Burt Reynolds? Damn it, I'm completely blanking on the name of it. But no, it is Smoking the Bandit.
I was gonna say I think Smoking the Bandit's it.
No, it is Smoking the Bandit. Sorry, yeah, I was sitting there, I was like, that sounds right. Yeah,
I was like, that's it. You're right.
Yeah, so it's just it's more based on that. But I want to give a shout to Lily James, who I believe was Cinderella in the Disney remake they did.
She was, yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Oh no, she was Ella. Pardon me. But
okay. She was in that movie though.
She was in that, yeah. And I gotta say, man, she was really charming, and she was charming in that way that I find Emma Thompson charming. Where I was just like, yeah, I was like, you're cute, and I want to see her in more stuff. I really enjoyed her, and I thought the chemistry that her and Baby had actually worked a lot better than it does in most movies like this. Scott, kind of your thoughts on
that? Yeah, sorry, I cut out for a second. What was that?
Oh, I was just asking, like, kind of your thoughts on the chemistry between Baby.
Yeah, I for sure, and I feel like Edgar Wright even like the style facilitated that kind of with the dialogue. I feel like they were naturally it felt really natural, just the chemistry they had in the relationship that they were forming on screen. But that also leads into Baby's personality and kind of how he's an introvert, and like the reason for they kind of go into why he wears the headphones and listens to music all the time and stuff like that. The fact he gets made fun of throughout the movie, that kind of all leads into his relationship with her, and their connection. And it's just kind of a classic, almost boy meets girl. They drive away together type storyline, which is kind of a classic romantic kind of thing that a lot of people can get behind, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing about this movie that it feels earnest. You know what I mean? Like it really feels like everyone is in this movie not um like not caring. Like everybody wants to be here and everyone's playing their roles really well. And I thought Ansel Elgort, I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was better than even I thought he was gonna be. And
Yeah,
I don't know.
who is this guy? Like, man, he's so good.
Yeah, he was as I mentioned, he was in The Fault in Our
Insurgent, he
Stars.
was in Divergent, Insurgent, and Fault in Our Stars. I mean, thank God Edgar Wright got his hands on him. He was doing terrible movies.
Yeah, well, what was the last? Not the last. Fault in Our Stars is actually a good movie. I enjoy that movie. But did you ever see it? Did you ever see it?
I saw it. I saw it.
Really didn't like it?
Nikki loves it, of course, and I'm just like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
no,
not the biggest fan. Like I much prefer my Ansel Elgort like driving a car listening to, like Young NC. Like I'll take that any day of the week.
fa- fair enough.
Can we talk? Can we talk about the stunt driving in this? I feel
Yes.
like is
Fucking
like
crazy.
top notch, like very well thought out, like just insane. Like it's so fluid, and it blew my mind. It was crazy.
It blew my mind too, man. Like that was like some of the best. I mean, like the Fast and the Furious. I don't know. Some of their like big scenes
Mm-hmm.
now, they almost seem like okay, that was computer generated. But like when I'm watching Baby Driver, at no point was I like that. That isn't like a real car, like
Mm-hmm.
doing that in real life, and they did it. Like that happened. Like so much of this, is crazy stunt work. So that's a great thing to point out, Scott. Like, dude, that
You
I'm
make
blown away.
you make a great point about Fast and the Furious, because my biggest problem with those movies is just like the incessant shifting. Like they've got like 1,000 gears that they can shift into, and like there's one shot of them in the car shifting, and then there's another shot of it outside, and they keep going
They
back
just
and forth
like the
and back
sound
and forth.
effect.
Yeah, so it's really cool to right. It's throwing some knobs. Yeah, so it's cool to see like just some real. It felt like real stunt work. I mean, we could be crazy here, but it looked really nice.
No, I think they have a lot of behind the scenes footage of this stunt work being done actually with like Subarus and all the cars they were using, some of the old school ones that they ended up doing in the later scenes. So I think most of this is legit. Most of these car stunts are
Yeah.
legit for sure.
What did you think about the Driving Hunter?
I was sitting there, I was just in awe of it, and all I kept. So I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I thought Baby Driver was gonna be good, but it made me love it more and hate Transformers even more, because all I'm sitting there thinking is this is a driving movie, and it's like a romantic, what could be taken as a mushy driving movie with the romance, and yet I'm more invested in this movie in the first 10 minutes than I was in all Transformers, and it just made me hate that
Oh my
fucking
god.
movie even more. Like I just got
Well,
angry all over again thinking about
now,
how much.
now you're comparing Edgar Wright to Michael Bay, which is just like, I mean, it's comparing Kobe Bryant to like a kid in grade school that plays for his team.
fair, yeah, no, fair, no, fair enough, fair enough. But my God, it really just points out the fact that Edgar Wright just knows what the fuck he's doing. It
Yeah.
doesn't really matter what he's doing, whether it's a hipster video game movie or it's zombies with people finding out more about themselves, or it's in the world of robot. Like Edgar Wright just gets
Gets
movies.
Gets
And
it.
it doesn't really matter what he's doing because he's fantastic at everything.
He always makes it a good time too. It's always a good time. Like it's never too serious. It never takes itself too seriously.
Yeah, and I will say, kind of to wrap up here, I just want to kind of touch on every person here. Lily James as Deborah. She was fantastic. She was charming. Had a very Audrey Hepburn vibe about her, which I thought was very charming. Kevin Spacey. What the fuck can we say about Kevin Spacey? Kevin Spacey. You know, Frank Underwood in this season of House of Cards is great. By the way.
Mr. Nine Lives himself.
Yeah, Mr. Talking Cat movie himself, Kevin motherfucking Spacey. But
don't let him get off the hook for that too easily.
No, he needs to be reminded.
Yeah, let's call it Mr. Nine Lives for at least 2 years.
Oh, man, I'm gonna get higher. And I'm gonna watch 9 Lives after we're done recording because that just sounds great. Now I think about it, but
it's a waste of weed, Hunter. Why would you ever do that?
No, please.
Nothing. That's an oxymoron. There's no such thing as a waste of weed.
Yeah, and if by waste you mean a great use of, I couldn't agree with you more. But Kevin Spacey, he's great in this. Jamie Foxx was kind of freaking me out a little bit, but in the best way. He's very much a loose cannon in this.
Good way to put it.
Yeah, like I was laughing really hard at that, and then and John Hamm, I love John Hamm so much, and he's just so goddamn charming, and I'm happy he's getting to be in more movies because I really just love the dude, and he should be in more shit.
He's such a bad boy too. Like, John Hamm.
He's just like still such a Don Draper though. Like for the whole course of the movie, like he's just the fly dude with like the hot other heist goer chick like on his shoulder, like making out with him the whole movie. And then like once he loses his chick, he was like, now I'm going crazy and I'm gonna be the most hardcore bad guy you've seen this movie. And I'm just like, good on you, John Hamm. Like, way to do it. Like, that dude's still killing it. Like, he knows how to, like, play that smooth role and that angry role. He's John Hamm. Like, I was proud to see him doing well. I think he's translated better into this second phase of his career than Bryan Cranston has. That's a separate debate.
Ooh, interesting.
But
okay.
Just throwing out there for all you lit in the comments. Tell me
what the beat.
Feel. Yeah, I'm just.
That is a very interesting discussion. We're gonna have to debate that.
Yeah.
I like that. Sorry,
but I'm on Team John Hamm, mostly because of Baby Driver. So
yeah, he really brought him out of the ashes on that one. Like, I feel like it was a strong movie for John Hamm.
Yes, he was also great in The Town. But that was a long time ago. But
$1 Million Arm. I really enjoy that movie.
Awesome, but yeah, dude. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is how everything summing up?
Yeah, I'll jump in here. I thought the soundtrack is fantastic. It's one of those soundtracks I've been listening to daily since I've seen the movie. Since I saw the movie that Friday it came out, and I've seen it 3 times total. I fucking love this movie. It's great across the board. The cast is great. The soundtrack is great. The editing, oh my god, that poor editor who had to work on this shit. I can't even imagine how hard your job was, but it works so fucking well across the board. It's a fan-fucking-tastic for me. I thought I knew what my favorite movie of the year was, and then this movie jumped in, and one other movie we will talk about.
Ooh.
But I love the hell out of this. So yeah, fan-fucking-tastic. Scott, your final thoughts and grades, sir.
Yeah, such a fun movie. Like when I go to say I just want to go out with somebody or go by myself and just have a good time at the movies, which is generally what I want out of a movie ticket, is just to have fun. This is completely fits the bill. Edgar Wright does it again. One thing I kind of like that I haven't mentioned yet was there's a point in the movie when he's trying to get clean, essentially, and he gets a job as a pizza delivery driver, which I thought was kind of funny and ironic. But yeah, nothing but good things to say. Fan-fucking-tastic. Like, this is definitely contending for not only best movie of the year, but you could argue it's. Ooh, I mean, you got some other ones out there like Spider-Man and Planet of the Apes that you might be able to argue with, but it's this slow summer is picking up. Yeah, fantastic.
All right, so I guess I'm last up, yeah. All right, so this is what I'll say. So the last time I think I walked out of a movie theater like feeling like this way, where I was just like, oh my God, like what did I just see? This was intense. Like this is definitely the best movie of the year. Was fucking 2 years ago when I walked out of Ex Machina.
Ooh, great call.
And like not even last year can I think of a movie that topped this movie. And my best movie of the year, I was thinking of it, was Hell or High Water, and I was like, no, this movie's better. That's where I'm at. And
Yeah.
I'm just like I know that's leaving nothing to the imagination when it comes down to like what's like our top movies of the year at the end of the year, but this movie's good. Like this movie's real good. The music makes it infinitely like watchable, I would say. Like the way everything is like geared towards music. Like think of how many times you can listen to your favorite album. Like that's how I think of this movie. I'm like I can like every time I want to listen to this song, I want to see this scene. Like that's the whole movie. Like the whole movie is like I want to listen to this song and I want to see this scene. I want to listen to the whole soundtrack and I want to just see the whole movie. Like it's infinitely watchable. I think this movie is going to be a classic. I think it's going to be probably Edgar Wright's like finest achievement when it all is said and done. Like compared to everything he started with, even with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, like there's so much stuff there. And I love Scott Pilgrim, but I don't know, Baby Driver's that good. It's a fan fucking tastic, and it's probably my favorite movie of the year. That's it. I'm done.
Hunter, did we lose you?
So if we did lose Hunter, and Hunter, if you're listening to me close out this, just jump in at any moment. But thank you so much for listening. We love everybody that listens to us. Whenever you get a chance to listen to us, please subscribe. We're on SoundCloud for now. I know SoundCloud's going out of business. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud now, know that you're going to be able to find us soon on iTunes. And always follow us on Twitter. It's at the Real Pineapple 775. Is that correct, Scott?
It's at the Real Pineapple for the Twitter handle.
At the Real Pineapple, perfect.
Right. I'm at Newman the First. Colin, you're at
the Real O'Neill. And what's Hunter at, Scott? Do you remember?
I think he's at the Real Pineapple. That's his thing.
I'm at J Hunter Real
There
Pineapple.
we go, Hunter. Send us home, Hunter.